Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Michael Sandler, your host on Inspire Nation, along with
CJ Lou from the Fire It Up with CJ show.
Woohoo! Woohoo! If you've ever wanted more success and direction in your life, then do we have the show for you. Today we'll talk about finding direction and success in all that you do and now rather than later. That plus we'll talk about the don't know mindset and letting go of the reins, the power of dolphins and the Taj Mahal. Didn't think you'd put those two together. 4 weeks till liftoff. What in the world's a kitty pod? Gratitude times 100. Who is Happy the Squirrel? And why taking time off is not what the universe has in mind. So, welcome back to the show, CJ. Are you ready to shine?
I am ready to shine. Okay.
Woohoo!
All right, so when you're writing these pre-sheets, do you laugh yourself when you read them? They're just so absurd.
I guess I hadn't thought of it that way, but I could put an absurdity rating to it.
Yeah, I think there is an absurdity rating. So if it's a 1 out of 10, what's the absurdity rating that you're shooting for?
12. Okay, so how has your week been? And tell us about the don't know mindset and letting go of the reins.
Okay, so this week I met with, I had training as of last week, and I think I talked to you. Did I talk to you? I talked to you on Friday. Did I talk to you last Friday?
We seem to talk every Friday.
No, I didn't talk last Friday to you. I don't know what I did. Yeah.
We had your son getting into school, you being out of town.
Okay, so I was.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what happened as a result of the workshop is that there was a set of action items, and I had in my mind, as I tend to do, like kind of a prescriptive plan of all the things that we needed to do and how things should look. Mm-hmm. And, if we're, in this case, I'm a consultant versus actually someone who's within the company. So you're in a very different kind of position. You can't just make things happen. You have to get the approval from others to then run it the way that they want to run it based on what they see as the outcome, which is really, really hard for someone with my personality because in my mind, I know the right way and it's the best way and it's the way that it has to be.
Well, there's a red flag word you said earlier already, which is the way it should go or should.
Exactly.
And
right.
that should word, I'm like, the S word.
Yeah, so I actually thought, that this weekend, in the beginning of the weekend, I walked with that kind of attitude, like, okay, what am I going to do to make this happen in the best possible way, which is my way. And then I got some advice from, friends and family, and then I meditated, and I realized, like, this is the ultimate in a spiritual practice, because my desire to push and make things happen in a proactive, almost reactive way quickly is maybe not the right path for everyone. And I thought, you know what, this is not, you're going against the tide of what really is. What really is slowing down. What is really the person that I'm working with, her process in life, which I really respect and beginning to really appreciate, frankly, is slowing down, not jumping into executing right away, looking at it methodically, trying to pace things out so they're not too cuckoo crazy. And so I thought that is what is. You want to do something quickly, yesterday, in a particular way, but you are not in control. You're not in control, and you need to just release all your desires. And so I've been listening to Tosha Silver a lot, and it's about releasing your desires to let God's desire come into being. So I just thought, you know what? I'm not sure what's going to happen. It's not my company. I care about it as deeply as if it were my company, but it's not my company. And you have to trust that the person who's at that company cares even more deeply than you do. So let go of your desires and let God come in and see what happens. Just let go. So I thought, okay, I've already stated what I think is an approach that would be appropriate based on my experience. Whether it's right or wrong, I've given my particular opinion, and I just thought, okay, just let go. And I said, this whole thing could fall apart. Nothing can happen as of tomorrow. you may be fired. You may, I don't worry about it. Just go in and say, this person is your ultimate teacher, about some way of being that's completely different than your own. Accept whatever she offers and embrace it. And that's what I did. I just said, I don't really know what's happening, and whatever she chooses is her prerogative. We're both trying to do the same thing, which is to help people. And I've got to believe that she cares as much, if not more, frankly, than I do. So I went in there and I sat in the meeting just like, okay, let's actually just talk about what you think we should do. And like everything that I had hoped and would happen happened, and there are some slight adjustments that she had made based on her own experience that made the whole thing much, much better. And she got that as a result of listening to my feedback and contemplating with her own deep sense of like what was right, and the solution was overall better. So woohoo!
There's so many learnings and lessons in here, and I just want to unpack maybe one, which I was talking with Jessica about, ironically or not so ironically, just before the show, and about something I did or did not do, nothing wrong, just a decision that was made, or a circumstance that occurred where I'm going, well, will this have a, quote, positive outcome or not? Mm-hmm. And it occurred to me, and I'm like, look, the universe is supporting and taking care of us no matter what.
Right.
And because of that, whatever outcome comes is actually the positive outcome.
Right.
So
whatever, it's success, because that was the whole thing. The whole show is about success.
Exactly.
Right?
So it's redefining that success, or stepping back the aperture, or looking at it from the telescope, but from a different viewpoint. All of a sudden, maybe it's the moon that comes into focus instead of the distant stars. Something else comes into focus, which was not what we expected necessarily, but may have been even better. And so that's one element of it. The other element of it is, I believe there's a spiritual solution to everything, and that everything we do is taking place on another level, on the other side of the veil. There's the higher self, the higher team going on. And so while we may be scrambled tapioca down here, there's some organized communication between you and your partner that you're working with in the other company on the other side. So if you bring to it a push, strive, it's got to be
my way, right?
My way, even at home, in your living room, not in the meeting.
Right.
She'll sense that and energetically snap back, and there could be resistance. Whereas when you're going, I'm just allowing whatever is what, it's a phrase I love, whatever is whatever. Whatever is whatever, and honestly embody that, which it sounds like you did. Then her higher self is kicked back, relaxing, going, CJ is on my team. Whatever I need, I know CJ's there. This is all going to be cool. And so you have, it's sort of like the Ho'oponopono. You have really helped get her anxiety levels down so that she feels you're on the same team as her.
Right. I think that's exactly right. And it's what reminds me, so this morning I woke up, over the last couple of nights, I've been waking up at 4:42 each night, 4:42. Why? I don't know. Thank God it's not 4:44, because in Chinese, that's like the super bad luck number.
That's what I set my alarm for every day.
No, don't do that. Oh my God, change
4:44. I take it as a positive number of the universe, synchronicity. So I have a different meaning that's been put on it.
Okay, should I tell you the other meaning, or just you'd rather not know?
Well, I'm wondering if that's the same in Japanese, or if that's roku, which is 9. One of those two numbers means death.
4 is death. So it's it ni se su. Su means like death. So 444 is like triple death.
Triple death, which means I'm going to a higher level, then another higher level, and a higher level still.
Yeah, your relationship to death is probably very different than my relationship to death. You're like, I've died twice. Not a big deal.
3 repeating numbers. But I do want to have kids first. I was thinking about that earlier today, and I was like, what happens if I check out early? And I said, well, I want to have kids before that. Now, that's an attachment, I realize.
Right.
But I'd like that experience.
I think, you know what? I have to tell you, When I first had kids, I went through the transition of, oh my gosh, these kids take so much work. There's so much time. I can't do all the things that I want to do. Oh my gosh. And my husband and then initially were arguing about who has to take care of the kids because both of us wanted to get our stuff done. And then after a while, not only do the crazy amount of lifeguard responsibilities diminish over time so that it's more reasonable, but also you just kind of get used to the kind of constant giving. It's just like you're just giving well. You get used to it. And then now the kids are leaving. So my eldest, like we were saying, just got into college. He's leaving probably in August. I know now, August 22nd, he's going to leave.
Wow.
So, or earlier, depending on what other programs they have for early, for like getting acquainted early. But around August, he's going to be taken off. And he's actually gone this week. And I walk by and his room is empty. And I can't even tell you how weird that is because he's been gone for the last week. He was gone. I didn't even see him when he got into Duke. I just heard over the phone. So I haven't seen him for maybe 13 days.
Wow.
And I got home and when a room is not occupied anymore, it feels empty.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah. So I'd walk by and I would just like each time I'd walk through the hallway, because every time I go up the hallway into our master bedroom, I have to walk past his room. And there's just like a gap each time I wake up and I have this like awful sense of gapness of where it should be. You're probably feeling that with your move. Are you feeling that too?
I don't have gap because there is so much clutter around
Right.
their boxes every which way. But it does bring me, and it brings me to an exercise that automatic writing had me doing this morning.
Right.
But it's going to bring a tremendous sense of gratitude and appreciation when he does come back for the time that you have. And that's
true.
what I've been experiencing here is a tremendous sense of gratitude. There's something about having, I like to say, and it's only half a joke, that I wish we had I wish we were like loaves of bread and that we had expiration dates printed on our foreheads. Because if we knew the day we were checking out of here, we would treat each and every other day differently. And so I don't know when I'm checking out of this planet, so to speak, but I know when I'm checking out of the home.
Right.
And that makes every day more precious. And it makes things that I would normally be not as enjoyable of an experience and put perspective on it. And that's really, I think, what you're getting out of this too, with the empty room. So he's going to come back to a giant bear hug.
Right.
And then a don't leave me. And then...
It's funny because I had these nightmares, and the nightmares in my dream. I woke up. I told you I've been waking up at 4:42. So the first night I woke up and I was like, "Oh my God, what was I dreaming about?" But in the dream, it's frankly like I can look at the symbols now and know that it's all about him leaving. And there's one in which I kind of finally allow myself to feel the utter exquisite sadness of his being gone. And I'm in the dream and I'm screaming, ah!
Oh my.
like that guttural scream.
That's usually when I either scream myself awake or the scream won't actually even come out of me.
Yeah, no, that's exactly in the dream, right? Because there's a scream that's emanating and it's like so actually deathly bad that you almost don't hear it because it's some decibel that only dogs are like, So I have two of those
turn
screams.
down your headsets.
Exactly. I have two of a dream where I'm screaming like that, and I woke up. I'm like, "What was that all about?" And then I realized it's like, "Oh, I'm not allowing myself to kind of give in to the sadness." And so yesterday I was like, "Okay, just allow yourself to give in to the sadness." And I just couldn't feel sad. Like I desperately wanted to cry, and I couldn't. It was the best day I've had in a long time. Is that weird?
It's interesting. It is completely tangential and on the same topic. Last week I was feeling more and more like, and I started to cry and fall apart last week, April 2nd, when we were talking about my first near-death experience. And then I was talking with my editor that night via Skype, and I'm saying, I feel like I'm just going to bawl or something on one of these shows. I don't know. I'm getting more open-hearted in my interviews. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. I just want to be honest and real. I start to hold back or catch myself.
Yeah.
What do I do? And he said, and he's a Screen Actors Guild actor and movies and TV, and as well as loves to edit. Hi, Misha. So with that said, he goes, well, why don't we talk about it tomorrow? And I said, that's a great idea. Next morning, I had an interview before speaking with him with Dr. Dawson Church.
Oh, yeah.
It was awesome. And we were talking about, because we do talk about EFT and tapping. And you've had him on your show, Fired Up with CJ as well. And we started talking about PTSD. And we hit an event where, it's funny I say hit, where I got hit by a car while racing bicycles in Europe trying to make it to the Tour de France. And he walked me through this. And that was it. I just started bawling.
On air with Dawson Church.
I just lost it. Now on the audio, what you just hear is lots of awkward silence, maybe an occasional snivel.
Oh, wow. That's powerful. So it was PTSD. It's post-traumatic stress disorder.
I had for 7 or 8 years. I did the EMDR, the flashing lights. I was a train wreck and thought I had it all behind me. But when you said screaming, which is interesting, this is way off the topic of success, but heck, until this fall, probably, I was waking up regularly with screams in my dreams. Usually I wouldn't be able to get the screams quite out. And then if I actually did break through the veil and the scream came through to this world, for me, it was like a breakthrough, cathartic. I was able to get it out. For others in the home, not such a breakthrough.
Would it be the decibel that you were screaming in the dream? Or like sometimes I'll scream and it'll be like my husband will hear me go, oh.
That's what Jessica's used to. The breakthroughs are when I actually manage to get it out there, which on some level it's an accomplishment.
But it must scare the bejesus out of her.
It may explain why when we got the new kitty cat, I was sleeping in the studio.
She probably has to do work with Dawson after that scream.
Well, yes, he did actually talk about literally having to do work on spouses of people who have PTSD.
Absolutely.
And that's a real thing, just like having to work with, Al-Anon with spouses of those who are alcoholics. Same thing is that they vicariously is the right word, but they end up with the same experience and a very similar traumas. So I realized, I was preparing for this interview, and I was realizing that I get that particularly in 2017, which if our success was great prior to 2017, it has just taken off this year. And each morning, thank you. Each morning, though, I have woken up more and more nervous that I have screwed up and ruined everything. And I have all these dreams about having screwed up and ruined everything. And I've gotten a lot in automatic writing. It's talking to me about the theme of transcendence, and that's like my code work when going to sleep, to transcend, to rise above, to put that in my head. Also, it's told me, you are loved, you are love, which is just a beautiful statement to use as a mantra when going to sleep. And that's been
that's nice.
That's been helpful. And I've been doing Eldon Taylor forgiveness, subliminal work, and Steve G. Jones, which has works on this as well, hypnotherapy work. So I'm doing a lot, hitting it from all angles. But still, as I've gotten more successful in the mornings, I've been more and more fearful, to where Jessica will tell me something that's neutral at worst, and I'll be like, oh my God, this was it. It's just a state I'm waking in where I was waiting for the other shoe to fall. What I realized for the Dawson Church interview, or when preparing for it, and the topic was going to be tapping and emotional trauma and PTSD, what occurred to me literally at the gym, hanging upside down doing a core exercise movement, was a wow. Because I was working backwards as to why is there such a fear of screwing up. And clearly my family has a fear of screwing up. My mom, for the Patriots game, big Patriots fan, will lock herself in the bedroom, not allowed to watch the game because she knows she's such bad luck. I love you so much, Mom, but you know what I'm saying here. She knows she's such bad luck that the entire organization will fold and the Patriots will lose just because she watches her favorite team.
Wow.
And so that's clearly in me, but this seems even more than that. And it occurred to me, the ultimate, quote, screw up in my life was I worked my whole adult life, and I can still feel a little bit of tears in there because I get to work through this more, my whole adult life from ages 11 or 12 when I started training seriously. A full decade training at the Olympic Training Center, all this works, ended when I was waved by a safety official through a blind turn into an oncoming car. And I feel a little better when I'm saying it that now than the Dawson experience. I'm not stuttering, so that's interesting. But it occurred to me that that was the screw up that had imprinted in me the when everything's going well, when you're doing everything it's supposed to.
Woo! Okay, I just got an energy surge. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do more tapping on this afterwards.
There's something there.
But I completely fell apart in his show while we were talking about that, and he had me tapping on that. That is my core one. So I'm going to do emotion code work. I'm going to do more tapping on it. I got the root cause, but I bawled on that show, which is good. But I could, because you were talking about tearing. Where am I coming back? How do I even draw this back to success? All I know is I'm getting more open-hearted now. And maybe part of the journey of getting open-hearted and part of the journey of success is finding out what those root cause emotional boat anchors are that are holding you back. And that was a biggie for me, that in a sense what you think about is what you bring about. If you keep waking up terrified that you're going to screw something up, you may accidentally bring that about, not as that you did anything wrong, but that's what you're focusing on, is where the other shoe going to drop. And so I think it's cool that we're getting to work on this. And
yeah. Well, I have two different thoughts. Can I share them?
Please do, because I boxed myself in a corner on this one. So please help us out of this.
It does relate to the theme. Number one.
Box, out, corner.
The theme is success. And oddly, what I think that this maps back to in the theme is the fear of success, right? You have the fear, like you actually hit a pinnacle. You're at the Olympics training for this, event. So you're at the pinnacle and height of your success. And something that has nothing to do with you, right? Some traffic person says, go ahead and turn, and you turn into like an oncoming vehicle. It's like the randomness of life, right? Even at the pinnacle of your success, where you have literally done everything right, quote unquote, right. Stuff happens, right? There's stuff that's beyond your control that happens. And like that, then I would imagine if that happened to me, I'm like at the pinnacle of my success, there's going to be something that may hit me and just totally sabotage all my hard work and just, take me down. So to me, it seems like, which is common, there's a fear of failure, but there's also a fear of success, which I don't think a lot of people think about, but it sounds to me that there's a fear of success, fear being the operative word, because as you're opening your heart and doing more and more love and openness, everything, if there's any little crevice of fear, love it just opens it up, right? And then you have to be on the show with Dawson Church and start crying, right? Because when love shines upon fear, the only thing it can do is release, because it can't hold that construct anymore. So I think that it relates to, sometimes I think if because the theme was about success, right? So the way that you get to success is moving from a place of love and shining light onto those areas of fear. And if you do that, stuff like this is going to arise.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah. And success is not even the traditional definition of success, right? Like, you going to the Olympics and winning medal, or me going and getting my, thing that I thought was the right way. It's kind of like there is a successful outcome, but it doesn't look successful on first blush. It's funny because I woke up this morning thinking about my son, and he had a friend and not a close friend, but someone in his high school that committed suicide. And he has been haunted by this idea of this person who was very successful, like on all measures, was an incredible athlete, was part of the popular crowd, got an early admission into Vanderbilt, which is a very competitive university, and he killed himself. And it's like, why would someone do that? And that's been haunting him. And I woke up this morning thinking about that. and thinking that it's the don't know mindset. And I looked up don't know mindset to see if I could send an article to him. And what came up was that story about the farmer who has a horse. And have you heard? I'm going to botch the story. Yeah. Can you help me with the story?
So basically, and both of us, I think, had on the show Carmen.
Yes.
And the gift of maybe.
Gift of maybe, right.
And it was like a farmer has a horse, something bad happens to the horse, somebody says,
but horse breaks its leg, right?
Yeah.
And someone
that's
goes,
terrible.
Oh, that's awful. Yeah. And he's like, don't know. So then somehow the horse goes off and and somehow runs into a herd of horses, right? So they're like, oh no, your horse is injured. This could be awful for you. And I don't even know how this happens in the story, but somehow the horse gallops away and comes back with 15 horses. And it's like, wow. So you thought that the guy was messed up because he only had one horse that was functioning and now its leg broke. And somehow the horse recruited 15 horses. Who knows? And then his son is riding one of the horses and breaks his arm or leg or something. And they're like, oh, no, your one farmhand that helps you so much on the farm has broken his leg. That's going to be awful for you. It's awful. It's tragic. And he's like, I don't know. So then the next day they come for conscription, trying to recruit him for the army. And because he has a broken leg, he can't go to serve in whatever this military campaign is. And so it's all about you just don't. No, really, you really don't know. So even though you thought that you would have been better off had you gone into the Olympics, and who knows what would have happened. And this guy wrote this beautiful article about that story and saying it's finding the good in the bad and the bad in the good, even because sometimes even when you're so I'm on this rip-roaring state of success, woohoo, it's like well actually there's some there's something about it. Maybe it's the attachment to that. That is the little part that is still it's good, but then there's this attachment that is maybe the bad if you're going to put labels on it, or the bad, which is someone committing suicide, and some good that that may not even be discovered right away. But I think that's interesting when you think about success. It's kind of murky thing, right? We have success defined as societal success, which is money, numbers, fame, whatever. But it's unclear whether that truly is success, right? In the broader spiritual picture, success is based on you living your path and finding yourself. Mm-hmm. And so from that metric of success, you getting hit by a car, me, we both found success in a different way. Anyways, that's my 2 cents.
So many directions I can go with that. Let's see if I can go a couple real quickly. One.
Okay.
As I was laying there on the ground, leg at a 90-degree angle, if you can picture the movie Misery in a hobbling, that's what happened to one of my legs. I thought, God is dead, there is no God.
Wow.
It was such a grisly, gruesome experience. Add upon that, the French did not believe in painkillers and felt that because I was screaming bloody murder, they had to put me in a hallway for many hours to teach me to be quiet. With that said, and that's not all French. That was just this particular French hospital. But maybe they saved my life too. Maybe there could have been a blood clot had they given a painkiller. But at the time, I just and then they cold set. At the time, I thought this is the most horrible thing in the world. How could this possibly have happened to me? In hindsight, I know it was such a gift, but it took me probably 15 years to recognize it for the gift. For the changing of my path, of taking me out of a sport that the next level would have required me to do some morally challenged things at best, which till that point I had been saying no to. So you never know. Everything does happen for a reason. So I get it very much now, but it still was in my DNA or in my body that subconscious, like you're saying, that fear of success, that, oh my God, this could happen to me again at any moment. And going back to Mom real briefly, sorry, Mom, I love you very much. We were taught growing up, and this has to do with success, we were taught never to mention the good things in life. That if you say, I had a great day, oh, don't say that, Michael. because then something terrible will happen to you. Maybe it's a level of humbleness that my mom was taught that we all have to have. But you never mention the good things or something terrible is going to happen to you. I kind of get a little bit of chills as I say that.
That's actually, you got to tap on that, because that, to me, that's it's a cultural thing, because my husband, who is Jewish, also has that same belief. It's like I never try to get too excited when good things happen, because I know right around the corner is the balancing action of something bad.
Yeah, somebody will say, knock on wood real quickly. That's, I guess that means get earthed or get grounded, or it might have a shamanistic tradition. I've looked it up before. But be careful what you say or you'll be smoted. It's the reverse of the law of attraction.
Right.
Because you want to actually focus on those good things to bring more of them about. And I've had those discussions with Mom, and she'll still say to this day, don't say that, Michael. I say, the show is going great. Don't say that, Michael. So it's in there. So this tapping with Dawson Church is going to help. And I do think it's important if you want more success in your life. I think I was saying on air last week to get out the torchiere, and I accidentally said blowtorch. And it's important to get out the blowtorch and go looking for the darkness to have success and to find out where you literally are, if not only handcuffed, but have a weight attached around the ankles. And I think we all do, and to start to look for that.
Yeah, I think that's really powerful. Yeah, I think it's a non-traditional way. Like, you can listen to 10 different shows on success, and the likelihood that they'll cover any of the things that we just covered is, I think, basically 0%.
But they're important.
But frankly, those are like the underbelt, like the things that they don't talk about because people don't want to hear. But the reality is that those are things as real that are blocking success as anything else, right? And I'm talking about the success being broadly defined as your own happiness and overall finding yourself and finding your purpose and finding your destiny. Like, those things are not mentioned. They're all related to, like, work harder, keep your mind focused, but these other things, these are the subtleties that when you are trying to reach success in this broad term that I think a lot of the success programs miss.
Well, we both have a lot of coaching clients and a lot of experience with that. And one thing that I'm sure you see, I see all the time, is the person who keeps repeating the pattern of right before they get success, they don't realize it, but they deliberately rip the carpet out from underneath them time after time after time. And it's the blocks that are right in front of us that we don't see, that until we keep learning the lesson,
right,
or keep getting the lesson until we learn it. And so we have to realize, I think we all have some sort of emotional blocks to success from something that's occurred in life. And so rather than fear them or be afraid, well, the carpet's going to get ripped out from underneath me, instead of that, say, what wiring could there be inside of me that might be pulling that carpet? That's kind of a take ownership of it.
Yeah, because otherwise, if you don't dig into it. So I woke up this morning and I was doing automatic writing, but actually, thanks to you, because you said I wake up in the morning and I do it. I'm like, I'm going to do that. So I woke up this morning, I was doing automatic writing, and then this weird thing came out, like, you need to watch your son. You have to be careful, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, this doesn't sound like anytime in automatic writing you get a fear-based thing.
That's your inner critic going on.
Yeah, that's kind of like, who's that just showed up?
Hello.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, you have to watch your son, he's going through it. And I thought, this doesn't seem right. But the interesting thing is, I think the old me would have been like, just wish that thing away. Just ignore it. Just don't feed into it. And I think that sometimes that is the best guidance. And sometimes it's going in and it's a really tricky thing, because you really don't know when to go into it and when to just like zoom past it, because it's your inner demons that need to be shut out, because otherwise they grow, right? So this time I went into it, and it was interesting. As a result of going into it, I was like, okay, you clearly have an issue going on, because you're waking me up at 4:42. I can't sleep well. I'm having these weird dreams where I'm screaming. So I'm like, it seems like you want to talk. So let's have a conversation. What's going on? Seems like you have these concerns. What's happening? And then it's like, it had its voice, and I'm like, okay, that's really interesting. And then I'd bring my higher self. My higher self would have a conversation and say, well, that's true. There's also this happening. And then it would have another ejection with like, oh, but how come this? But that's true. But then also, but I'm like, okay, then my higher self would have a dialogue with it. And it's literally these two parts of myself having a dialogue. It's like a schizophrenic kind of moment where both parts of myself are having a dialogue.
But it's awesome. You're learning from this. It's so cool.
Yeah. And then at the end, what I get was the don't know mindset. And I thought, I really don't know. And it is not your job to figure out where your son is going. It is his job to figure out where he's going. You got to let go out of the reins of control so that he can blossom into the person that he should be based on what he wants to do. Not on what you think he should be, but what is trying to emerge. You interfering and going in I need to observe. Like that's actually interfering with the divine's path. Because you think your path is better than his own path, which don't you think he's going to know his own path better than yours? Absolutely. So stop mucking around. Let the guy just do what he needs to do. And all your job is to love and support and be curious as he emerges like a flower opening up or a tree blossoming into the tree it's supposed to be. You're just there to watch and love and water and, but not to oh, I'm pruning the tree. This is my bonsai. This is not your job.
How to Raise Your Kids Like Bonsai by C.J. Liu.
Anyways, that was my observation. But it was interesting because I went into that dark voice that was waking me up and having nightmares, and that's what I found out.
There's if we step back one more layer with the aperture or step back, whatever, I can't remember the proper photography term for it. That's also good advice for ourselves, which we, on some level, we get to understand who we are and where we're going. On some level, we don't get to drive the ship.
Yeah.
And if we learn that, I was just watching Days of Thunder. What wisdom can we get from Days of Thunder? Well,
never seen it. Oh, no, I have seen it.
Tom Cruise, Nicole Kidman,
right.
and one of the things that she is lecturing about early on, and she's the doctor, and he's had a concussion, and she's saying, you think you're in control by driving that car? Control is an illusion, you egomaniac. You are completely out of control. And I think we can actually, it sounds strange, use the out of controlledness, which is a method of control. But with that said, if we learn to let go that we are just all those words you were saying about your son, if we instead say that about ourselves, then we are no longer trying to push that boulder up the hill. We can still do this two-step dance with the universe. We can actually find success sooner because the success comes in the moment rather than in the destination.
Right.
And we can reach beautiful, beautiful destinations, but going with the river rather than saying, come hell or high water, I'm going to paddle this canoe or kayak up the rapids.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree with you more. No, I have to actually say that part of me that as a checklist person is looking at all the things that we were going to talk about and how we didn't talk about it. I'm getting a little bit anxious.
All right, checklister. So let's talk about a couple.
Okay.
You're hopping up and down. Let's talk about
the Taj Mahal.
So I met with a coaching client in person this week.
Yes. Okay.
Which is
fun.
the first time in forever. So it was such a cool experience, and I was so happy to do that because someone got in touch and said, "You're leaving the New York, New Jersey area in a few weeks. Can I meet with you before you go? Can I have some coaching in person?" I was like,
nice.
"Sure, that'd be special. Let's do that." And I had been putting out there over the last couple weeks because we're moving to Emerald Isle, and we don't know where on Emerald Isle for the next few months yet. Right. And we have an opportunity to live someplace that's 20 minutes away, that's kind of in the woods. It feels rather than, oh, good, it's only 20 minutes away, it feels like it would isolate us more. It is fairly isolated. And with the show that we're running daily, it's hard enough to get us out. So if it's close to get out, we get out. If not, we're hermits. And I don't feel like being a hermit this summer.
Right.
And I said, universe, God, cheeseburger in the sky, I need some guidance on this one. Please show me a sign. And I had been saying when Jessica went down and visited Emerald Isle, I said dolphins, because there's a lot of dolphins down there. And I've even seen pictures I mentioned before, I think, of surfing dolphins in the waves. I said, dolphins, give Jessica a sign. If we're supposed to be on Emerald Isle, give her a sign. And I said, did you get a sign from the dolphin? She goes, actually, I didn't really get to the water much. Hard to get a sign from the dolphins when you're not at the water. So as recently as this past week, I've been saying, I need a sign. Dolphins, give me a sign. I met with this coaching client a few days ago in person, and she gifted me at the end, and I'm going to open it up here, a nautical bookmark. I don't know if you can see that. Made in Australia. I don't know if it's coming into
cool.
focus.
Yes, I can. Yeah.
And I'll
Wait,
pull
can
it.
you hold it up again?
Well, I'm going to do better. I'm going to pull it out of the wrapper right here, crisp in the wrapper. It is a bookmark with a lighthouse on it because shiny beacon of light.
Yes.
And at the top is
a
a dolphin. A dolphin. I asked for a sign from the universe. We're supposed to be in Emerald Isle. And do I take getting a dolphin bookmark as being a sign? Yes, absolutely I do. Absolutely. I got a dolphin. I asked for a sign. I got a dolphin in a lighthouse. I take that as a sign.
That's fantastic. I love that. Wait, what's the Taj Mahal then have to do with anything?
The Taj Mahal is there was a family little thing here, and I thought it was going to go away when people were donating stuff, and it ended up staying around. It's this little, I don't know if it's even marble, little box right here. And I've always been drawn to it, but it wasn't mine, but it was given away as a donation. And so I said, I don't want clutter, but I said, can I have this? I don't even know why I want this, but can I have this? You know, sign of prosperity, Taj Mahal, and this little marbly box. And I got to keep it, and I was reading a book today and have this on my desk, and I realized the coolest thing, which is this heavy little thing allows me to hold pages open to take notes. It has driven me nuts for over a year and a half. You're like, do you put your mug on it? What do you put on the book that allows you to take notes on the keyboard without the book closing on you and having to go back to the page? Now, the bookmark helps, but it still closes. But this heavy little marble Taj Mahal thing is allowing me to help the book open and is actually saving me time and making it easier. Strange as it is. So the Taj Mahal has
and you have to look up the story about the Taj Mahal because the person who built the Taj Mahal is for his wife, and he actually has a corresponding castle on the other side that is made out of black, and so that they can look at each other when they're in their homes. There's a story around it, and for whatever reason, I think you need to read that story too, because there's more than the bookmark.
I'll go with that. Next, we have gratitude times 100. I was doing my automatic writing this morning.
Yes.
And my automatic writing, based on our move coming up and talking about gratitude, had me come up with over 100 things to be grateful for this morning.
Wow.
That was such a powerful state change. I immediately sent a newsletter out to everybody on our list saying, this is what you get to do this weekend. Yeah. Such a powerful state change to come up with 100 different things that you're grateful for. And so I put that out there as a homework assignment for everyone to do that. I didn't expect to do that this morning. Usually I get words of wisdom and guidance. This morning, it was, let's do 100 things you're grateful for. And I felt better. And I felt better. By the end, certainly I'm in the woohoo-ness place.
Right.
But it was like putting on a completely different set of glasses.
Yes.
And taking the nervous system down and just putting you in a special place.
That's a great tip. I'm going to try doing that. Was it hard? But by the time you got to the 99 to 100, what were the things you were grateful for? I'm grateful for the air. What did it get to?
Because I did it right out of my automatic writing, where I'd gone quiet, I'd meditated, and then I'd put myself in a special place. They kind of flowed, and I was surprising myself at what I was grateful for, and I was grateful for my mindset, and I was certainly grateful for Jessica and the kitties, but I was grateful for even so many of the small details, the nuances of life that you don't think about, and I was grateful even for some of the challenges coming up with the move of how we're going to figure this out. And the other thing, it really just changed perspective. I'd have to actually literally run to the other computer to check, so maybe I'm tempted whether I'm going to. Let's take a 10-second pause. Hold on.
Okay.
Thank you for the incredible unmarked trails we'll find. Thank you for the incredible woodlands we'll find. So this is more of intention work. Thank you for the wisdom in old growth forest. Thank you for the old growth trees. Thank you for the trees. We just did a show about ayahuasca. Thank you for the ayahuasca ceremonies. Thank you for the amazing work we're doing to share the messages that need to be shared. Thank you for my chaga tea. Thank you for everything. Thank you for the ecstatic. I said I feel ecstatic. I feel great joy. Thank you for everything. Thank you for everything. Thank you for helping me with the fear. Thank you for helping take the fear away from me. Thank you for the incredible tools I've been given. Thank you for helping me to move past my subconscious blocks. Thank you for helping me to ask for help and to ask, how does it get any better than this? Thank you for helping me build an open-minded vehicle to help others. Thank you for helping me spread a message of light and love. Thank you for helping me to help others on their paths.
I love those.
Woohoo!
My energy just went up even actually hearing those. How about thank you for Habby the squirrel?
Habby the squirrel. This is now Habby the squirrel. So before we had Nuts the squirrel.
Yeah.
Now we have Habby the squirrel. And the squirrel behind, the story behind Habby is I had gotten a squirrel down in Sabino Canyon in Arizona years ago on my book tour before I was smoted the second time around. And Jessica went down back to Tucson and back to Sabino Canyon to check it out this year to see if we would move there, and decided that didn't feel right. But she picked up a mate for Savvy the squirrel, who is in storage, which we won't even go into the whole storage story. But she brought up another squirrel. So I have now Habby, like Happy the squirrel here. And I just noticed, I didn't even realize she put this on my desk, Curious George. So I've got like an audience going on my desk right now of I've got Lowrider the dog, I've got Nuts the squirrel, Habby the squirrel, and Curious George. So I've got almost like a gaggle of geese here on my desk. I'm having fun, CJ.
Are you going to pack them with you? So you have 4 weeks to lift off. So are you going to take your gaggle, your audience with you?
I have to. It's interesting. I'm a kid at heart. I think we all are a kid at heart. It's just how close or far removed.
Yeah, are we?
At this point, I'm not too far removed at all. I'm 1/2 straws away, or however you want to put it, 1/2 oat away. But I used to have a large stuffed animal collection, and it's one of two great purges I've made in my life. One, after moving from Fort Collins to Boulder, in which case I donated or sold everything that I have and really reinvented myself. Sold my home, put things into storage, never brought them back down with me. And then the second time was a smaller purge. I think it was before I met Jessica, just before I met Jessica, when I felt this big shift in my life. I was ready to date again. I was ready to get out there. I was healed again, and I got rid of this massive stuffed animal collection that I had. And now it's starting again, and with kids coming into our lives soon, or so I believe, I'm okay with that. I'm embracing the stuffed animalness, because I know it sounds ridiculous. Why is this person wants... Embrace your child. Embrace your child while you're going around here. See the world with the childlike joy you had as a kid. Enjoy Habby the squirrel. Go Nuts the squirrel. Have fun with this stuff.
Wait, and how does that relate to Kitty Pod?
So Kitty Pod is we got these large carriers for carrying our cats, because our cats don't like car travel. Imagine that. And so we got these pods, which are large.
You just recently. You got
just
these
recently. They just came in a few days ago.
Oh, okay.
These beds for the cats that have a zip top on it. So they sleep in these beds, and it's like a big circular bed that the cat sleeps in.
But it's covered?
You zip on a top to it, and it has a handle. You can carry it around. So the cat gets comfortable in their bed, and then the bed turns out into a carrier, so it's a lot less traumatic for them. And so they've been sleeping in them as a bed, and now we've put the carrier top on it, and it's kind of like a tent for them. It's see-through. There's mesh on the top. It's their own little safe haven. And so it's going to make it much easier, because 2 of our cats are rescued feral cats. They do not enjoy, particularly one of them, Lumiere, our light, does not enjoy being in a carrier because it brings him back to where we took him out of nature, so to speak.
Oh.
And so this is going to help prevent a traumatic experience. And so it's been very cool that we're having that forethought to look ahead at these things. And that's the last one I want to address for today for myself is I said why taking times off is not what the universe had in mind. So going from 7 days a week to 5 days a week, particularly when moving, has not generated much more, quote, time. And what's happening, well, because there's a lot of packing going on and we completely filled our coaching docket in the most beautiful way. I said team is full, which actually helps give us the opportunity to move. And so what I got, my attachment was that on Saturdays, I'd be able to take the day off. Like we'd had a past guest on that talks about a technology Shabbat, that I'd be able to step back on Saturdays and have breathing room. And last week, anything but, and I had talked with you on the show, oh, I'm going to have this room, we won't have to fill it. And then the next day, I'm like, oh, the irony. There was no room to breathe. And by the end of the weekend, I was a little nervous, got ahead of the curve, and then by Wednesday, everything caught up with me. So what I got in automatic writing this morning is, Michael, don't be attached to having Saturdays off right now. Instead, I want you to look ahead at your whole week and use Saturdays as a day to get a little bit ahead, and then you'll have more breathing room each day. So you don't have an entire day to breathe, but each day will have less pressure attached to it. And that to me is time wealth. And time wealth to me is a huge measure of success. Can I be more present in the experience, more present with myself, and get the anxiety levels lower? And so I'm viewing tomorrow, Saturday, rather than that day off, is a day to help get me ahead for the week ahead. And wrapping my mind around that is, I feel, a tremendous success.
Love it. Woohoo! Okay, anything else before we wrap
That's
it up?
all I got. How about you?
I'm good. I feel this is really actually helpful. It's just-in-time advice, I think. For me, and hopefully for people who are listening too out there.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. We know we've got to get you to a yoga class so that you can be time and health wealthy, which is as important to anything else. So for everyone out there, this is Michael Sandler and
CJ Liu,
along with Habby and Nuts and Lowrider and Curious George, and who knows who's coming next, saying be well, have fun, find success in the moment, and shine bright. Woohoo!
That's
awesome.
Good. I'm so excited for you. That was good. It didn't go as expected, but I think it was a really interesting show. Are you going to be doing videos for each of these? Because I've noticed you're doing videos.
Far as the current plan so far is to continue doing video.
Okay.
Our audience has been enjoying the videos on YouTube and letting us know how much they're loving them.
Yeah, I guess they get direct access to you, right? Because you're not interviewing, you're allowing your gifts to shine through, which is beautiful.
Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, be sure to like below. Also, leave your comments. Have some real fun with it. Subscribe to our channel where you're going to get more great videos, more interviews coming up. And check out our website, inspirenationshow.com. That's where you'll find tips, blogs, information, videos you won't find anywhere else, and useful and helpful resources to really help you kickstart your life and to shine bright. Thanks so much again. Thank you for your support. Like, comment, subscribe. See the website. Thanks so much and have fun. Of course, shine bright. Woohoo!